The fourth episode of the Gogo Nihon Live Show. We are here from our Tokyo office where every day we help everyone who wants to live and study in Japan. Today we're going to talk a little about saving money in Japan. We're going to give you some very useful information we put together here at Gogo Nihon, and we will try to save, to give you information to save money when you arrive here in Japan. And also we are here with the beautiful Miyajima-san from Akamonkai, which is one of the cheapest language school in Japan, but also has great facilities. It's in Tokyo and has great teaching levels. So we will ask later Miyajima-san how it's possible for Akamonkai to be so cheap but at the same time offering such a great level of teaching and such very good facilities. So let's get started. If you have any questions for me about living and studying in Japan or from Miyajima-san, you can ask us on YouTube and Facebook. We are actually live right now on YouTube and Facebook. I have my phone with me so I can read your question, and we will reply if possible to all of your questions. So first come, first served. You can already start writing your questions now, and I will read to Miyajima-san if they are from Miyajima-san, if they are about Akamonkai or about the language school, or if are more general, I will reply to you directly. So we are waiting a little bit. I see already some people are connected right now. We're gonna wait just a few more minutes. And if you like what we are doing, if you like those live videos, and you would love to live and study in Japan, please give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. And also follow us on Facebook. You can see there is a following button on our Facebook page, and if you click it and you select see first, it means that every time we go live, and we're going to show you a lot of lives in the next weeks. We're going to go to schools to show you the lessons. We are going to show you activities of our students in Japan, and also we do a weekly live show like this. If you want to know when we're going to go live each time, you're just gonna select see first into the notifications of Facebook, so you're not gonna miss any update. So we want to start now with some very good information about saving money in Japan that we put together, thanks also to the help of Stephanie, which is not here right now. She actually is the person that runs our orientation. We at Gogo Nihon do orientation every 3 months for all our new students. We welcome more than 1,000 students per year at Gogo Nihon, and we make sure that we have an orientation for them when they arrive in Japan. So we do orientation at the moment in Kansai, so Osaka, Kyoto, and Kanto, so Tokyo, Yokohama. And this orientation gives a lot of information. It's about 1 hour long. This is not going to be 1 hour long presentation, but we took the slides related to saving money in Japan, and we want to share with everyone. So even if you are you have not applied with Gogo Nihon yet, you're not in Japan yet, I think it's very useful for you to know this information. And we always update the information for our students, so when you come to Japan, maybe in July or October, you may have actually some additions, some updates, because we keep updating these slides that I'm going to show you right now. So I will ask David to please go with the first slide that you will see on screen, and I will also open the slide on my mobile so I can comment with you. And so the first slide, we say cheap life, and we divided about 4 topics. So for living, the 100 yen shops, 100 yen shop, for example Daiso, but there are so many in Japan. So 100 yen shop may sound something extremely cheap, maybe not even good quality, but on the other side you can really find every type of good, any type of also everything you need for everyday life. For example, from the forks to plates to tissue, everything is really convenient and available there. And also for presents, maybe can sound funny. No one is going to know you paid the present just 100 yen, which by the way is $1 or even less than €1. So it's really cheap. No one is going to know unless they've been in Japan as well. But it's a nice way to find a lot of like small presents, maybe not for your main friends, for your best friend or your family, but if you want to give small present like chopsticks and things like that, you can find very cute ones. Also there are Hello Kitty series and Doraemon series that's in at the 100 yen shop. So for 100 yen you can find a Doraemon, I don't know, a Doraemon agenda or a Doraemon bag and so on. Then going Craigslist or Facebook for sayonara sales. So there are a lot of foreigners in Japan that actually live in Japan. They buy the furniture, they buy their TV, they buy the computer, and then when they leave, they need to sell because they cannot bring everything back to their country. And in that case, the best place is to find sayonara sales, so people leaving, selling their stuff, is Craigslist and Facebook. There are many of our students that when they arrive, they check, we tell them where to check, they check those repositories, and then they find things to buy for a very cheap price, because people that are leaving maybe are leaving in 1 week, so they just want to sell them as fast as possible. And especially if you can pick them up, you can find a really, really good deal. Public gym is another great advice. In Japan, there are two types of gyms. The private gyms, where you pay about 100 or even more if the gym is really, really nice, maybe I don't know, like rooftop view or very high view of a nice area of Tokyo. They can cost $100 or more. Or you have also public gyms. So each ward, for example, in Tokyo, but also in other cities, have his own gym. And the gym usually are very big. Of course, because they are so cheap, they are also a little bit crowded. So it really depends. If you're a gym maniac, you want the latest machinery. You want to have always your stuff available. Then maybe you want to go to the private gym. But if you just want to exercise a little bit, you want to swim as well. You want to do some sport and run, and also, of course, do some weightlifting. The public gym is amazing because you just pay when you go, and you pay like a couple of dollars, $3 or €2-3 per time you go. So it's really a great way to save money and still keep fit in Japan. For what regards food, Japan is extremely cheap for lunches. You can go to many places in Japan, even very good restaurants, and you find lunch for less than $10 or less than €10. Bento box, the box where you can have pasta, fish or meat, etc., is also available everywhere in Japan, not just the big cities, and it costs maybe even less, like $4, $5, €4 or €5 per box, and you can really have a full lunch with that. Japan is also really good for all you can eat and drink. It's very common in Japan at the evening to have all you can eat, all you can drink, which in some countries, especially in some Western countries, that would be impossible, because we probably are going to starve for days in order to go to all you can eat and then eat so much, and then the place probably will close in a week if it opens in some of foreign countries. But in Japan, actually, people really still eat what they're supposed to eat in a normal day. So the business goes really well because they go there for all you can eat, Japanese people, but at the same time they don't eat that much. They don't drink that much. So for us it's great because we are going to eat a lot and we are going to also drink a lot, and we still pay a fixed amount, which is usually depend on the quality, but it goes from $25 to $45 or 20 to 40 euros per night. But then again, you can eat all you want, and you can drink all you want. Supermarket near closing time. That's a very useful tip that always take a few months to realize for someone who is a newcomer in Japan. Most of the supermarkets during closing time, let's say the supermarket close at 10, at 9 they start putting those discounts like 10%, 20%, 30%, or 100 yen, depending on the product, on their fresh fish or meat or anything, because maybe the next day they need to take it out. So instead of wasting it, the supermarket still wants to say cheaper. And you can, if you want to eat at dinner, if you want to get the food at dinner, you can just go there and grab the very special deal. So go on supermarkets near close time and scout for those discounts. That's a very good advice. Hot Pepper Gourmet is a website that also gets a lot of coupon and discounts. So you just go there, look for your area, look for the food you want to eat, and then you find the same restaurant probably you would have gone anyway, but with a deal, with a discount, like 500 yen off, or you can get a free drink, something. So definitely check this website for deals about the area and the food you want to go. For what concerns learning language, of course, you're going to come to Japan and you're going to go to school 4 hours a day. You're going to study a lot, but also you need really to make friends in Japan. So we suggest you, of course, to study hard at school, but at the same time practice what you study at school outside Japan, because you're in Japan, 99% of the people are Japanese, and you have plenty of chances. However, a very cool app Gogonia actually is partnering with is called HelloTalk, and I suggest you to download even before coming to Japan. HelloTalk puts you in contact with Japanese native language speakers in Japan, of course, just Japanese people in Japan that wants maybe to exchange language with English, with French, with Spanish, with Italian, etc. There are maybe more than 40 languages available. And then you basically, even before coming to Japan, you can already make friends and you can already practice the Japanese. As a Gogonion student, everyone has a VIP membership for 3 months, which give you unlimited tools for getting your sentences corrected and so on. So I really suggest you to check this up, and if you come with Gogonion, you're going to receive an email with the code, with the information to get the 3 months free membership. If you want to buy a phone, or if you want to make a contract, which you will probably do if you come as a long-term student in Japan, we suggest you to check Yodobashi and Big Camera, those two big retail shops. Now they're offering cheaper phone plan compared to the standard old, in a sense, phone companies like Docomo, AU, and SoftBank. They're very expensive in Japan. You're going to spend more than $100 a month, especially if you want to have a smartphone. But with those companies, first of all, you can use your own smartphone if it's unlocked. So make sure that your smartphone is unlocked when you come to Japan, and then you can put just the SIM card for those operators, and you spend about, I don't know, $15, $20 per month. So it's a huge saving from 100 to 20. And people sometimes don't know, they still go to the shop, and the shop of course push you for the more expensive one. So be aware, ask us, ask Gogo Nihon, and we can tell you exactly where to go and which plan to buy. Bring your residence card and credit card. Of course, in order to get a SIM card in Japan, you must be resident, so you must enroll in a language school, get a residence card first, and then you can, together with the credit card, you can get a contract with a phone. If you have any questions again about these slides, start asking now, and I will get back to you as soon as I finished. Because we are live on Facebook and YouTube, and we will read your comments. So just leave a comment on YouTube and Facebook, and I will read your question after this first introduction. Now, if David can go to the second slide, I will show you a detail of one of the supermarket closing sales I was telling you. The photo of the left, has sashimi, and is 40% off actually. So from 980 yen, I don't know if you can read the photo, if the quality is good enough to read it, but from 980 yen, it goes down to 588. So from $10 to 5.8, from 8 euros and a half to about 5 euros. So it's a big discount, and this is because it's evening, and this is fresh fish. So the next day they would have thrown away anyway. So they just discount it a lot, so people buy, and you can also have a very nice dinner for a few dollars, for a few euros. And on the right, there are some other type of discount. This discount is in yen, so it's not percentage, but they take 20–30% off. And you can see there are many stickers. It's because more gets late and more just keep discounting. If you really want to get a great deal, you should really wait until the last minute. But what can happen is someone comes and grab it before you. So it's always like a compromise. If you really want to eat, if you're really hungry, just take it. But more you wait, and better, of course, you can get a better deal. So we go to the third and the last slide before we come back in the to show you the office. So furniture. For what concerns furniture, second-hand shops are amazing in Japan. So Japanese people in general, especially compared to Western, I have to say, they really care about everything, including the furniture. So when you go to a second-hand shop, you find still new furniture, very good quality, and you save a lot of money. Most of those second-hand shop actually comes again from sayonara sales. When people move, when people relocate or just leave Japan, they don't know what to do with the stuff, and then they rather sell to a very cheap price online or to a second-hand shop. That's why those second-hand shops have a lot of stuff, always changing. And I suggest you to have a look, especially if you need the furniture for your apartment. Yahoo Auction also works really well. It's very popular in Japan. It's like our eBay in the US and Europe. It's Yahoo Auction here. Same kind of concept. People can sell directly to other people. There are reviews and so on. So I don't think I need to explain how it works. It just is in Japanese. So you need to learn Japanese, or you have a Japanese friend that helps you to go through the listing. Nitori. People don't know Nitori is basically a cheaper but still nice version of IKEA. And Nitori is everywhere in Japan, and you can browse their site, and if you go to the shop, you just grab the stuff like you do on IKEA. But they can also, I think you can also ship it, and they can also build it for you, which in IKEA you cannot. So it's more convenient. Of course, you need to pay extra to get the building service, but still you can get everything built, and it's cheaper than IKEA for sure. Commuting, Kaisuken, when you find your apartment, when you have your school, you probably, you may actually live very close that you can go walking distance. We will hear later from Miyajima-san at Akamonkai that they have many dormitories close to the school, so you can actually save so much money with transportation if the accommodation is walking distance to the school. But in case you need to take a train, in case, for example, your part-time job is like 4 or 5 stops from your house, we suggest you to make a kaisuken, which is basically a monthly is a monthly card that covers the distance from point to point where you're going often. So you pay a fixed amount, but you can go as many times as you like. You can go a kaisuken with many IC card. The most popular in Japan right now are Pasmo and Suica. Both of them are fine. You just, you like green compared to pink, or one is by JR, one is by Tokyo Metro, but you can use the Pasmo, which is by Tokyo Metro, also on JR and vice versa. We usually suggest Suica just because there are basically Suica is accepted everywhere, even in other cities, not just in Tokyo. It's just more common. So if you don't know what to do, if you don't have any preference, maybe Suica is better as for 2017 right now. Highway buses. We know that Japan Shinkansen is amazing, is technology, is Japan, and we all love to take Shinkansen once in a while. However, Shinkansen is expensive. It's about $140, $130, $140 to go from Tokyo to Kyoto one way, and it's about 110 euros then to go from Tokyo to Kyoto one way. An alternative, way much cheaper alternative is taking highway buses. And highway buses basically take maybe the night, so you sleep actually on the bus, but you arrive at the same place you would arrive by Shinkansen. It's point to point, Tokyo to Kyoto, Tokyo to Osaka, Tokyo to Nagoya, depends where you want to go. Of course, they're slower than a Shinkansen. However, don't think as a bus, as a highway bus maybe we have in Europe or in the US. It's a really high quality bus you can get in Japan. So I put a photo here. I don't know if the quality is good enough for you to see it, but those are the seats you can get in those buses. And those seats, of course, recline quite a lot. You can have a nice sleep. It's still a bus, of course. It's not a bed, but at the same time, don't think about the buses you take normally, maybe in your country to go to work or maybe even to go from one city to a city. A very high quality bus. And you save a lot of money as well. So if time is not an issue, if you have time, I suggest you to look into highway buses to save a lot of money when you want to visit another city. Now, we have the last 2 points, the rent. We help a lot our students to saving money with the rent. So one of the best services that Gogo Nihon offers for free is helping with accommodation. If you choose a school like Akamonkai, which we will see later, the school has a dormitory, which is, of course, it's fantastic because you have a very cheap price, first of all, because the school also owns a dormitory, so make a very good price for students. It's probably the cheapest option possible, and you are very close to the school as well. So you can maybe walk to the school, you don't have to pay for transportation. However, there are other schools in Japan, in Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, that don't have a dormitory. In that case, what Gogo Nihon does, make sure that we introduce to you selected partners. Those partners are the best deal in terms of quality price. Basically, we have searched all over Japan and we have selected those partners for you, and we can cover all the cities where our schools are. So you can find accommodation in Tokyo, Yokohama, Kyoto, Osaka, Fukuoka, Sapporo, etc. Those are some of our name of our partners, so Akal, Central Japan, DAD, etc. So you're gonna be sure that with Gogo Nihon you have a good deal in terms of accommodation. Last but not least, entertainment. Everyone wants to have fun in Japan. I mean, one of the reasons why we go to Japan is also to learn the language, of course, but we want to have fun. We want to really meet Japanese people, go out at night, and Japan gives you a lot of possibilities. It's an amazing place to be. I've been living in Japan for 9 years now. I came here 9 years ago, and I can't say enough how every day is still so exciting for me. How many things I did here that I could have done staying just in my country, sitting in my room and watching TV. I mean, it's just another level, to be honest. But be careful. Again, in entertainment, you can spend a lot of money because it's entertainment, right? They know we want to have fun and they can really charge us a lot. So there are some tricks here for you guys. First of all, Book Off. Book Off is a place, there are Book Off everywhere in Japan. You can buy books, games, manga, second-hand, extremely cheap. And again, it's like the furniture. Japanese people really care of their things. Everything is almost new. You can see when you go there, you're gonna be amazed how this game costs half price or 60%, and you open it and the CD is intact. The manual is perfect. It would have been like, they could have sold as new. Same as manga. I know a lot of you guys also read manga, and you can find maybe 1 week after, 2 weeks after the manga is out, you can find the manga already there because someone has read it, sold it, and can buy another manga. But you can also buy the manga 1-2 weeks after. And again, 1-2 weeks after in Japan means probably 6 months before in your country, because it's still the manga, they get out here first. So we are still talking about very ahead of time that you can read manga now. Karaoke deals. It's common in Japan. I mean, you probably all love karaoke. It's common in Japan to go out to karaoke with friends. Actually, Japanese people, they also go by themselves, which still, I cannot understand that. I'm not that level yet. So Japanese people actually, they just go to karaoke to practice by themselves. Miyajima-san here is laughing. You cannot see her, but it's true, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But you probably most likely will go with friends, and it's common to have the opportunity to get deals. When I say deal, is basically you just walk by a karaoke. Of course you want to go, but you don't look like you really want to go. And then they're gonna call you like, hey, you want to go to karaoke? Say, nah, I don't know, how much? And then whatever they say, just go for lower. Unfortunately, again, Stephanie is not here. She's the #1 I've ever met for getting a good deal in karaoke. Stephanie from Google Nihon staff. She's amazing. Every time we go with students or even the Google Nihon team goes to karaoke, it's like almost we go for free. I don't know how she can do. I wish I could learn that skill from her, but unfortunately, she's not in the office yet today. Otherwise, I would have tested her. Maybe next time. So karaoke deals, amusement centers. There are amusement centers that sell you the pass for the day. Like you can get a pass and do all the games for one day. Also Spotcha, which is a place where you can practice. You can enjoy with your friends several sports. You can do baseball batting. You can do basketball, futsal, five-a-side soccer, and so many sports. It's like all things, but you pay again only the entrance. So if you're planning to stay 3 hours, 4 hours, and you pay each thing, you're probably gonna spend like maybe $100, right? But if you go to this deal, if you go to a Spotcha place, maybe with $30, then you stay all night as much as you like. Last thing, very important, watch out. Especially people that just arrive in Japan, they get very excited, they believe in everything. Just because Japanese people usually are very honest, doesn't mean that when it's about sales and entertainment, you always want to be careful. Cheap izakaya drinks, sometimes people say, oh, free drink, free entrance, only 500 yen, you can eat, this is impossible. Like $5 a night, you can eat and drink whatever you can, it's impossible. So there is always then the extra charges coming later. You can tell when the deal is too good to be true and there is no Stephanie with you, because with Stephanie you can believe you can get a deal, but if the deal is too good to be true and there is no Stephanie, then you want to be careful. Also some area, for example in Tokyo would be Roppongi, in Osaka would be Shinsaibashi. Each city has got this, I would say, a little bit dodgy area, which again in Japan is very safe, so don't think about anything that could be in your country, a dodgy area. It's a dodgy area in Japan, which means just some people try to push you inside, push not physically, but by voice, their shop, saying again, the free drink, no charge, but then you can tell clearly they're pushing you too much, and then no one is inside this place. Why? Because they charge you like $100 just to be in, and they will tell you later. We heard about, unfortunately, some students that have to spend a lot of money because this happened, and then we don't want other people to do this. Even if you come as a tourist, you don't use Google Nihon, doesn't matter. Just be careful. Again, Japan is a very safe country. It's the safest in the world. It's always, Tokyo is #1 safest city in the world. #2 is Fukuoka, probably 3 Osaka. They're always in the top list. However, 100% is never possible. So you just be careful on those small situations. Okay, so I'm almost ready to get back to our studio, and I will open up our chat. Let's see if I can see these comments here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we can get back to our Tokyo office. Here is the Gogonyon Tokyo office, and we are here with Miyajima-san from Akamonkai. So I would like now to ask also Akamonkai, from a language point of view, some questions. So the first question I'm going to ask is that Akamonkai is one of the cheapest school in Japan, and by the same time has got very nice facilities, very high level of teaching. Actually, it's a very intense school. The teachers are all super good. So how this is possible that in Tokyo, a school like that is also one of the cheapest all over Japan?
Well, our boss cut it our sorry. Just kidding. Well, our
so it's not. You have a salary, right? Yeah, it's not no salary. Okay, okay.
Yeah, Akamonkai is one of the very biggest school in Japan, and also the location is kind of cheap. That's why we can save our costs. And also, we'd like to all the students feel Japanese more closer and more familiar. That's why we offer this kind of very good price.
Okay, so the location. Let's talk a little bit about the location, because the school is in Tokyo. It's on the Yamanote line, which is, you all know the Yamanote line. It's a circular line. You can go to Akihabara in 10 minutes, Ikebukuro in 13 minutes, Shinjuku in 17 minutes, and Shibuya in 29 minutes. I know all of it because I used to live there. That's why I know exactly how long it does take. I used to live in Nippori, which is the location where the Akamonkai is. So it's so close, so central. But at the same time, it's so cheap to live there. Also, the dormitory is extremely cheap. Can you tell us a little bit about Nippori? Is it really like countryside, or is it actually a real nice place to live? Or tell us a little bit about the area.
Okay. Well, the Nippori is, yeah, as he already explained, that it's very closer to the our main cities like Shibuya, Shinjuku, and also Akihabara. But it's a little bit maybe countryside, maybe, and the location. Kind of very cheap place. The Nippori is kind of old place, not younger place living. Old people are living, and kind of old city in Japan, but still very well access to the every main station, and well, very easy and very comfortable to be.
Yeah, and I agree with you, because when I was living there, I had a feeling that everything is so convenient. But then when it's evening, for example, it's not really busy, right?
Yeah.
It's very quiet because maybe most of the people are not, like, besides these language students of Akamonkai, which are a lot, it's 1,500 that live in the area. Everyone else is a little bit older, which means that it's super quiet, and there are few areas, for example, Yanaka Ginza, which are very traditional. Like, this is not on the guidebooks actually. Like, it's even better. Like, it's not I don't know, Gion in Kyoto, these kind of places that, okay, are very traditional but also are very touristic, so you always want to be careful. What's the balance of being authentic and just for tourists? Yanaka Ginza, and I used to go there for lunch a few times. It's amazing because it's so traditional, and people there and people visiting are all Japanese. They're not tourists. So if you can go there as a student, I think it's fantastic. A huge way to learn about Japanese culture and also language, because you're not gonna get English there for sure. So Nippori again is very convenient, but a little bit like the people living there besides the students are a little bit older, so it gets really also very quiet, especially at evening. It's a fantastic place to live. And also Akamonkai is a dormitory.
Yes.
No one. How many do you have right now?
We own 4, and then we have some contract with more than 3 or 4 dormitories. Okay,
so 4 owned directly by Akamonkai, another 4 that you have a contract with other companies. So and those dormitories are really cheap. I think we start from $300 for a shared room, and then maybe $400 $400 about for a private room, right?
Yes.
For a single room, you share kitchen and shower, of course, but at the same time you have your private room if you want for about $400 or 380, 370 euros. So students like the dormitory. Can you tell us a little bit about the good points of the dormitory of Akamonkai?
The number is, of course, it's very cheap. If you want to live in Japan, in Tokyo, it's kind of very expensive. I think the average is, I don't know, 60,000 yen or 70,000 yen. But if you want to save the money, it's very good to live in the dormitory. You can, as already we say, it's
35,000
yen
yes.
per month, and of course you have to share the bathroom and then kitchen and everything, but you can have your own place, so it's still there's some private space. So what was your question?
No, it's like what's really good about it, of course, it's very cheap, but at the same time it's also all students are living there. All Akamonkai students are living there, so it's also a place which is safe to be, and also it's easy for you if you have, for example, the water doesn't work or the light goes off. You can just go to the school and ask.
Yeah, you can ask there.
Yeah, that's also very convenient. You don't need to get lost in translation with the landlord and anything like that, right?
That's right. Yes.
There is one question for Akamonkai.
Okay.
Is getting into a school hard? Is getting into Akamonkai hard? How is the do you select students? Do you have any entrance test for Akamonkai?
Yes, we have a little bit strict selection. It is because for especially the European people, it's kind of very difficult to learn the kanji, I think, and so I know many European American people are very interested in Japan. It's very, very happy for me, but it's very hard to learn the kanji. So some people come to Japan with passion, but some people fail with kanji. So 来る前にちょっとそうですね。
準備しないといけない。ひらがなカタカナ勉強して、
ちょっと準備をしてほしいです。
Okay, so what Miyajima-san is saying is that there is not really like extremely a level check or selection before applying to the school. However, as a school has experience for European and Americans and Australian, like Western students, we have a challenge which is bigger than, for example, a student from China or a student from Korea or Taiwan, because we have to learn kanji, and kanji are not common in our language. So what Western students usually struggle is in learning kanji. So she's suggesting us we can of course apply for Akamonkai, but because Akamonkai is a very, very high pace of study, we should do some preparation. And usually hiragana and katakana is the very minimum to prepare before going to Akamonkai. But if you can also, of course, learn some kanji, or at least try to practice a little bit, you don't need to remember all of them, of course. But just you kind of get into the study of kanji, you get into the study of hiragana, katakana before starting at Akamonkai. I think that would be extremely, extremely helpful. And of course, if you have any questions about the application process, how to get into the school, what you should prepare, how much you should study, what you should study before starting Akamonkai, you can always ask Gogo Nihon, and we will be more than happy to help you in order to get this information. Okay, so I think I would like to thank you, Miyajima-san, for your time today, and I would like to ask you to get a seat on our sofa over there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and I will keep reading your questions. Again, we are live on YouTube and Facebook. So if you have just joined now, this is the Gogo Nihon Live Show. It's the first episode, and we are giving you advices on saving money in Japan. And you can ask questions, writing a comment into YouTube and Facebook, and I'm here reading your comments, so I'll just get back to you as soon as I see your answer. There is already a couple of questions lining up into our queue, so I will get back to them now. Becca is asking, would it be possible to travel to Japan and then apply to study through Gogo Nihon once you're in Japan? Would it be possible to get a student when you're already in the country? Okay, so it depends on cases, but usually what you could do if you're traveling, you could start a 3-month course, because that's the time you're allowed to be in Japan as a tourist, and you can definitely visit our schools. You can definitely meet us in the office. You can see behind. You can definitely meet your student coordinator, depending on which country are you from. We have people from different countries that help students from each respective country, and then you can get all the information you need. You can even start studying, as I said, for 3 months. However, in order for you to get a visa, you need to apply for a student visa. In order for you to get a student visa, you need to apply usually 4 or 5 months in advance, and that's not enough to cover the time of tourist visa. So the tourist visa ends up in 3 months, but you can apply to the term that starts 4 or 5 months after. For example, right now, you can still apply for July 2017. Actually, the application for July 2017 are until the 24th of February for Tokyo, Kanto schools, and the 14th of March for other areas. So you still have 1-2 weeks from now in order to apply. So if you want to, for example, start as soon as possible, you should really apply this week, or even like today or tomorrow, because we are running out of time for making the application for July. Then if you apply for July, you can still be in Japan, of course, 3 months earlier as a tourist, but make sure that your visa ends after you actually get a student visa, or you can still study, go back to your country, get a student visa there for July, and then come back this time with a student visa. So you have a few options. If you want to get more information regarding your specific case, again, send us an email and our student coordinator will get back to you. There is a question from Alvar. But how is Akamonkai school intensity? It's marked like hard. Would I be able to work without problems, or would I have time to do other things too? Good morning from Spain. Good morning, Alvar. I think in Spain it's very early. It's like 2 or 3 a.m., something like that. So good morning or good night. I'll answer this question from Miyajima-san. So Akamonkai, it's very intense. So we have different schools, and depending on the schools, we mark different intensities on our website, just because we want to make you aware that if you pick a school like Akamonkai, you're going to study a lot. Now, even though you study a lot, there are people that are doing a part-time job at Akamonkai, so that's perfectly possible. However, a part-time, for example, is 3-4 hours a day, and then Akamonkai school is 3.5 4 hours a day, and then you have probably 2-3 hours a day you have to study. So that's pretty much your day. So if you want to work part-time and you want to go to Akamonkai, you're going to learn a lot of Japanese. You're going to really learn a lot of Japanese. However, you will have limited free time after that. If you want to have more free time, you just want to have fun, you want to meet friends more than actually studying, there are maybe other options that we can still suggest you. So I hope this is also a good reply for you. Chats, hi Chats, it's nice to see you again. What luxuries and features does Akamonkai have for the students? Could you be a little bit more like specific on the luxuries? For the features, so Akamonkai, as I said, is a very intense school. They have several type of courses. Also, they have a business course, a university preparation course, together with a general course. So depending on what you, what's your goal. If you just want to learn as much as Japanese as you can, you're going to go for the general course. If you want to find employment in Japan, you will go for the business course. If you want to go to university or vocational school afterwards, you go for the university vocational school preparation course. They have a dormitory which has different also grade and price. So depending on the dormitory you choose, you will have different features. However, you need to consider that the dormitory is never a luxury solution. If you really want to be in a luxury environment, you probably don't consider the dormitory, but you go for a very, very nice share house, or even better, a private apartment, which has all the characteristics you look for. Yeah, if you are more specific with the luxuries, I can give you more information. Again, thank you very much for watching. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can leave us a comment, a question, and I will get back to you. You can ask me anything about living and studying in Japan, and you can also ask us anything about Akamonkai, one of our partner language schools that was here today and presented about the features of the school. If you're watching the video, even if it's a recorded version, please let us know if you like. Give us a thumb up. We really appreciate you get a positive feedback, so we can do more than this. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and like our Facebook page, so you get information on when we go live next. We are planning to go live in the next days, weeks, from showing you inside our language schools, and also showing you actual lessons from Japan and activities from our students during, you know, one of the many activities that our students are doing. We're going to try to make some live shows from there as well. Okay, there is a question from Malaysia. Jachi Kai. I wanted to ask, if I go for 2 years course, how much amount of fees do I need to pay in order to secure my place in the language school? So it doesn't matter if you want to study 2 months, 1 year. What we always, 2 years or 1 year. What we always advise our students is to think about 6 months first. Depending on the schools, there are some schools that require 1 year payment upfront. But you know, if you ask us, Gogo Nihon, we may be able to introduce you schools where 6 months are okay, and you basically pay 6 months tuition fee, and for the dormitory as well, you don't have to pay 2 years in advance. You can pay, for example, the first 3 months with some deposit as well. So that's actually pretty straightforward, and make the first initial payment cheaper than you're probably thinking. So yeah, 6 months for the tuition fee, and 3 months for the dormitory. It's a good thing for you to put in mind and calculate the budget. Okay, so I'm refreshing the feed here to see if there are more questions. Again, this is our Tokyo office where Gogo Nihon every day helps who wants to live and study in Japan. My name is Davide Rossi. I'm the CEO. I came to Japan 9 years ago, and actually 10 years ago I was like you. I was thinking to go to live and study in Japan, but there was no service like Gogo Nihon, so I went through a lot of difficulties looking for the right language school, looking for the right accommodation, the visa paperwork. I was really almost giving up through the process, but then when I arrived in Japan, I realized that it's really a great place to live, and I had so much fun, and I decided to start a service that helped more people to do the same I did, living and studying in Japan. And I hope that thanks to Gogo Nihon, thanks to our free service and the information we give you guys, the process of coming to Japan is way much easier. And we're proud to have more than 1,000 students per year that actually are already choosing us. And we always do our best to improve our service. And this is one of the things we decided to do this year, having this live show where we just share the information we have, we answer to your questions. So everyone, basically, even if you're not even emailing us yet, can be more prepared to go to Japan to live and study. Okay, chats. Does Akamonkai have luxuries like Wi-Fi, student lounge, English-speaking staff, modern technologies, iPad computers, etc.? Basically anything that makes learning easier or more comfortable. Thank you very much for being more detailed. I'll go through each point of your questions. So Wi-Fi, yes. Student lounge, yes. There also, I'm going to check now with Miyajima-san. You also have a 24-hour room that is accessible for students, right, with a card, right?
Yes.
So Akamonkai actually, I think is the only school I know that has a 24 hours available room that you can access with a student card, which is, of course, is a IC card. So for example, in the evening or very early in the morning, you want to find a place where you can study. Maybe your room is not good for that. You have too many distractions. You have your PlayStation or you have your TV. You just want to focus. You can use the Akamonkai room for students 24 hours. You just need to bring your card. So that's, I think it's a very special feature that Akamonkai has. And then English-speaking staff, yes. 何人ぐらいですか? 英語を話せる人. 4 people. So 4 people Akamonkai are able to speak English. And I don't know if I mentioned before, Akamonkai is the biggest school in Tokyo. They have more than 1,500 students, so they have a lot of staff. And for you means that you have staff that can speak English, but not only. 何語で対応できますか?
モンゴル語、ベトナム語、中国語、韓国語、あと最近ちょっとスペイン。
Okay, so they also support not just for people who can speak English, they also have Spanish, and then they have a lot of Asian languages, like Mongol language, Vietnamese, Korean, Chinese. Maybe I forgot one, but it's from Asia, so I don't think you guys are super interested. And then iPad computers. Yes, there is a computer area that all the students can access, can use, of course. But I don't think they have iPad during lessons. iPad まだ使ってない。
もうすぐ。
Ah, but this is a great news for me too. They will introduce iPad during lessons soon. It's a good idea.
今年か。
Oh, okay, so this year or at latest next year, which means 2017 or 2018. Akamonkai will start having iPads, so this is coming as well. Yes, so today we're giving you information about saving money in Japan. That's why we called Akamonkai before. And if you guys have just joined now, in the first part of this live video, we were showing you some tips to save money when you're in Japan, and also we invited Miyajima-san from Akamonkai, which is one of the cheapest schools in Japan, and she told us a little bit about how to, you know, why Akamonkai can be so cheap, but being a school with very nice features, and also a school in Tokyo with a very high level of teaching. So the thing that Miyajima-san shared with us is, first of all, that the school is really able to keep the cost down, because, for example, the students stay at the dormitory. So for you means that you can save a lot in accommodation. The school owning the dormitory, they can keep the cost very down. The rent is really low, and also any problem you may have with accommodation, you can just refer to the school. So you have a single place to go, which is the same place you go to study, to ask questions about you know, the light doesn't work, or the water is not hot enough, etc. Another reason is because the school is in Nippori, which is a great area. Actually, I lived in Nippori 8 years ago. It was the first location I used to be in Japan, so I know Nippori very well. It's located on the Yamanote line, which is 10 minutes from Akihabara, 30 minutes from Ikebukuro, 17 from Shinjuku, and about a little bit less than 30 from Shibuya. So you can go with one line in all the main spots in Tokyo, but it's a little bit countryside in a sense. So people living there are a little bit older. Of course, there are also a lot of students because the school is very big. So there are students and then maybe a little bit older people. That makes the area very quiet in the evening. Very cheap to live, very cheap to buy food, very cheap to go to karaoke. Everything is so cheap, but at the same time you can easily go to the main station, the main area in very few minutes. So I'm waiting to see if there are some more questions. So guys, we are live on YouTube and Facebook. If you have any questions about living and studying in Japan, or how to save money in Japan, I can answer to you now. I'm checking if there is any question here. Okay. Oh, I see that okay, so we had some problems with YouTube this time actually. So that's I'm just learning now live from David. So I will focus on Facebook. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, you can ask me now. Otherwise, I will just like to remind you to like our Facebook page or subscribe our YouTube channel to get more information about when the next live is going to be out. And let us know if you enjoyed this video. Even if you're watching the replay, let us know. We really appreciate to get your positive feedback about living and studying in Japan. It was a pleasure for me to be here today. I hope you enjoyed the information we shared about saving money in Japan. I hope you enjoyed our guest Miyajima-san from Akamonkai, and I hope to see you next week. Mata ne!